Oh no, your add more oil light is blinking. Whatever will you do? Well, despite the changing your oil every 3,000 miles myth, most cars can go over 10,000 miles without needing an oil change. By learning to change your own oil, you can save some money, have the satisfaction of working on your own car, and make sure you put quality level oil and oil filters into your car. Since you're now in college, you might like to know how to do adult things, such as learning how to change your own oil. To explain the usefulness of oil in your car, wonderfulist.org states, automobile engines have many moving parts. As these parts move and rub against each other, the force of friction creates heat. Oil lubricates the engine and absorbs heat, allowing the internal parts to work together effectively without overheating. Even if you only use your car for a little bit amount of time every year, you might need to change your oil according to time instead of mileage. As stated by Robert Sutherland, principal scientist at Benzol Passenger Car Engine Lubricants, over time, oil becomes contaminated by gases that blow by the pistons, and the longer the oil sits with that contamination, the more it degrades. Hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll be able to know step by step how to change your oil yourself. As for prerequisites, you will need a car, new engine oil, new oil filter, rags or paper towels, safety glasses, oil pan, which is not part of the car, wrench set, oil filter gasket, gloves, a funnel, and some car jacks or ramps. Always remember to check your oil before you need to do your oil change. Don't rely on guessing based on the every 3,000 miles. You may not need to change your oil yet. This can also save you pennies on the dollar by extending the amount of time and effort when changing your oil. Check your car's user manual to figure out which type of oil your car takes. Make sure it's the correct viscosity. For new cars, it's preferred to buy synthetic oil since it lasts longer and works cleaner than cheaper conventional oil. You can figure out what type of oil your car needs from an oil filter manual located at various stores selling them. Also a handy tip, most experts recommend changing oil while your engine is still warm to help the oil flow. First step in the oil change is draining existing old fluids. As stated on Benzol's website, never get under a vehicle supported only by a jack. You will always want to be extra careful by placing other support such as ramp. Locate the drain plug, the socket-looking hole attached to the oil pan of your car. Keep in mind the drain plug can be in different locations depending on the car make and model, so pay attention to where yours is located. Place down a container to hold the oil, typically an oil pan, not to be confused with the oil pan of your car, that is. Then simply unscrew the drain plug with a wrench. Keep in mind the type of wrench will vary with the car, so do your research on which type of wrench fits well. Once the drain plug has been loosened by the wrench, continue to loosen by hand, making sure the oil pan is ready to catch the fluids. Next step, you'll need to replace your old oil filter with a new one. First, locate the oil filter. It should look like a round cylinder usually located under your car near your oil pan. Some cars even have oil filters attached to their engines. Just be able to locate it. It's hard to miss. Remove the old oil filter with an oil filter removal tool. Depending on the size of the filter, it will totally vary. It is recommended you use a gripping wrench since it fits most sizes. While removing the old oil filter, have your oil pan ready for any extra oil residue. You'll need to oil up the gasket on your new filter. The gasket is the ring on the bottom of the filter. Before you manually place it back in, so to help it stay attached and start you off with a little bit of oil, ready to go so your engine doesn't overheat when it starts. Finally, for the easy part, you will add the new oil to your car. Every car has an oil fill cap with the words like engine oil. Locate this cap and fill it to the recommended point according to how much oil your engine can take. Make sure to be careful on this part because too little and too much oil can be bad. To check if your oil has been added correctly, you can test with the marker of the oil dipstick or turning on the car and checking if the add oil light is not on. After you added the new oil and everything is ready to go, you can then take down your car jacks and drive your car off your ramps. In conclusion, learning to change your own oil can be beneficial since it can save you money, give you the satisfaction of learning how to work on your car, and provide you the opportunity to place a good quality oil and oil filters in your brand new car. As you can see, it only takes 3 simple steps: draining old oil, replacing the filter, then adding new oil. But remember, not everybody nails it on their first try, and that's okay, because by doing this time after time, you'll eventually know how exactly what to do. Now that you're aware you don't need to go to the store to change your oil every 3,000 miles, You'll be conscious next time that Add More Oil light starts to blink in your car's dashboard.